about born.
If you're a fan of our show, you probably know we have a big bunch of friends who love to share their pictures and stories online. But did you ever wonder who's running that show? Our own social media director, Alyssa McCarthy Parker, is a barn lover herself, and she has the horses, donkeys, and chickens to prove it. Here to introduce you in person is my co-host, Ariel Coaster.
To some, this barn may look like a teardown, but to Jared and Alyssa Parker, this old tin barn represents the future of their ranch, one creek at a time.
I've always loved this property, I think, because I shared it with my dad and feel like I did so much growing up here. It's cool to be back now as an adult and to share it with my family and my animals.
We have 2 horses, 2 donkeys, 2 chickens. We have 4 guineas. We had some quail.
But we ate them.
Let's see, we got 4 dogs.
We'd love to show you the barn.
I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Oh, so you'll have quite the herd out here.
Yes, they like to hang out, especially when they see us coming out to the barn. They know that they get treats.
What are some of their favorite treats they like to eat?
Well, actually, they like to eat granola bars.
Favorite treat. It's pretty awesome working in this barn. I can still remember when me and my dad came to look at it like 10 years ago. The pasture was completely overgrown. You could hardly even get to the barn. And then when you did, it was dark and dirty and pretty gross, but you could still see the kind of skeleton of the barn, and I think both him as a dad, me as a little girl, saw the potential for a fun project together. Well, when we moved here, we had 2 horses, so we knew we needed at least 2 stalls. I wanted another horse, so we snuck a 3rd one in there. We chose the panels because they fit perfectly within the side wings of the barn. The gates open to the inside instead of into the aisle, which is different, but it works. And we like the panels too because they allow for a lot of airflow in the summer, which is definitely worse for us than the winter is. We got the stalls in and then put more limestone screenings and stall mats in the stalls so that they could be filled with shavings. A few years later, we built our little feed and tack room. And we knew we needed a place we could enclose for hay storage, grain storage, and then saddles, supplements, anything else we needed. So we kind of put some blocks down and built the floor first, and then we enclosed the walls. And we keep, Christmas lights in here, so it always kind of has a, a little ambiance.
I love the lights. I love that you'll have a little party going on.
It makes it nice to come in here and it not just be plain.
Mm-hmm. So what are the things that you like about living out in the country?
Well, for one, we don't have any neighbors anywhere close, and so we can kind of...
Oh, man, I thought we'd make it.
So we're very secluded, and it's very private. We don't have any neighbors anywhere close. It's very open.
It's the same time every time.
For one, it's very secluded out here.
I grew up riding horses, so I've spent a huge part of my life in all sorts of barns. This one, smaller ones, bigger ones, fancier ones, dirtier ones. I'd feel at home in a barn because it's where I get to do what I love to do, which is be with horses. And it's also, become kind of a second home because my animals are home here, my chickens and, my future goats and my donkeys, and they all call this barn home. So it's like a home to me as well. And it's a place to think and to work hard and to take care of, and it takes care of us in turn.
My favorite thing about the barn is I can park the tractor in it, park extra tools, everything I need. It's large enough to hold anything I need to put in it, so.
So it's rather a large man cave.
Basically, minus the animals.
So I noticed there's a really nice fence over on Rooster Ridge Road. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, we built that fence last year when we got married, and we wanted to have our wedding here on the property.
The fence that was here was super ugly, so we tore it down and built this pretty fence. We wanted it to be a nice backdrop for photos, and we just wanted the area itself to kind of be defined. We knew from the beginning that we wanted to be married here. We did go look at a couple of venues, but we always came back to more or less getting married in our backyard, which just happens to be a giant open pasture. And so we did decide to rebuild the fence and to build a gate because we wanted there to be a really nice area, a focal point. And we liked the idea of always having it, always being able to go and see that gate and remember where we were married. And it's actually been used in weddings since then. Our neighbors, people parked and then walked through that gate. So it's kind of become, you know, a kind of wedding threshold for people to cross over.
What a wonderful memory. To see more great wedding pictures and say hi to Alyssa, visit Wild About Barns on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.